My name is Lloyd Cranston. We live in a Challengers village, so we are in Challengers right now. This project is called Stonefoot Project. I think that the history is about the Caribs and when the English came in to St. Kitts. I was from the bottom to the top of the river, where it's like a cave at certain point up in the river where you have the Caribs drying. But around here, we cannot read the Carib sign, so we don't know the meaning of the Carib sign. I grew up around here, born and raised around here. Then learn the history about what take place at Bloody Point between the English and the Caribs. You would have to say you're living in a place where there's a lot of history that you could remember. You know, you go up, you see the drying, you see the water flowing from the mountain to the sea. So you'll have a great idea what went on between those caves, like up in Bloody Point, when they had the battle between the Caribs and the English there. I would feel like the English were very, very greedy because they came in and met the Caribs. When they meet the Caribs draw over and gave them a part that they could settle. But then they start going over further on the Caribs. So the Carib chief, that named Tegraman, he called up all the Caribs them around in St. Kitts, the Liamigo as it was called, and he decided that one these days he feel like the English gonna take them over altogether. So he decided he would send and get all the Caribs from the nearby islands like Dominica, and they're going to attack the the English. They're going to attack the English and get rid of them out of there. But then there was a Carib woman by the name of Barbara. She had a relationship with Sir Thomas Warner. So then she went and let out the secret. So by the time, just say the Carib was to come in next week, the English attack them before the Carib reaching from the nearby islands around, and that's how they get to slaughter so many Caribs in Bloody Point. But I feel like the Caribs itself did not live in the river because the river used to always be running. But there's some little fishes and so to come down in the water, and something we call clawfish. They have claws on them like a lobster, and some they call crayfish. People call some of them shrimps now, shrimps. So then the Caribs used to go around there to get them to get food to eat, and then they go fishing down to the sea at the bottom of the river to get their fish and so. So I feel like, my personal feeling, that when the Caribs them go there is when they attack them up in the river. So there's a big stone a certain way up the river, which it would have had just below the Carib giant, would have had for the Caribs them to get over. But some of the Carib did escape, and they went off in the canoes to like Dominica and them. So some did survive, but they clean out the rest that live on the island, you know, and take over the whole island. So I believe all the English was about is land and gold. I think that's what the main purpose of coming into St. Kitts. Well, I would like to see it clean up and preserve, and even have a national park around it, so that, you know, people can go and have a party during their picnic, as we call it. I feel like something of that nature would be very, very good for this site. Christopher Columbus, well, I think people say he discovered, But I think what he discovered were the Caribs. Because if people were living here before, occupying the land, and you know, a lot of people do go on as if the Caribs were dumb people or wild and eat one another, like, you know. But I think that the Caribs, they were friendly people, because if they could have drawn over and give them a piece of the land to work, and then they tried to overthrow the English. So I believe that the Caribs were friendly. Maybe some of them could have been fierce at time, because like everywhere else, they have their own war, maybe, you know. But I think they were friendly people. So I think that in 1492 and 93, when Columbus come here, all he discovered were just Caribs and things like that.